Are you going my way?
Anyway, The Hitcher from 1986 is a fantastic movie. I recently just rewatched this for the first time. I only saw it once back in the day. I'm pretty sure I saw it on the Canadian Super Channel, pay TV, up here in the Great White North. And I do remember liking the movie way back then, but for whatever reason, I had some trouble finding this one again. I mean, of course, I could just go on to Amazon and buy the DVD. I think it was $40 or something like that. Anyway, I looked and looked and looked at the thrift store, and I was so close to ordering this on DVD. And then I finally found it on VHS, and I'm so happy that I did. But just before I put it on, I noticed that the Cinema Snob had just recently reviewed this, and also its sequel. Anyway, he reviewed those two movies, so I was like, well, it's gonna be kind of cheesy and seem like I'm copying him if I put this out, right away. So I waited, well, I guess it's only been a month, but I watched The Hitcher, and man, what a movie this is. I can't say enough about it. First of all, The Hitcher came out in 1986. It stars Rutger Hauer, C. Thomas Howell, Jennifer Jason Leigh, and I think for all three of them, this is probably their best movie, or my favorite performance of any of them. It's a suspense, it's a drama, but it's also an action movie, and also kind of a horror movie. It's basically this. C. Thomas Howell plays a character called Jim Halsey, and he's this kid, he's delivering a car from Chicago area to San Diego. So he has to drive this car across country, and he's trying to go as quickly as possible, and he's falling asleep at the wheel and stuff, and he's driving through this rainstorm, and he finds himself almost drifting off and almost getting killed. Then he decides that, okay, well, I'm gonna pick up this hitchhiker on the side of the road. It'll keep me awake, do somebody a favor, whatever. It's the middle of a rainstorm, it's the right thing to do. He pulls over and he picks up Rutger Hauer, whose real name is really never revealed, but they refer to him as John Ryder in this movie. Ryder, hitchhiker, get it? Yeah, and he immediately proves himself to be a psychopath, and basically Jim picks him up in his car, and then he threatens him with a switchblade, and he says he's gonna kill him and stuff, and tries to make him pull over or whatever, or just tries to control him, and basically threatens to kill him. So Jim somehow realizes that the door is open, so he just boots him out and kicks him out. Hitcher goes rolling on the road, stands up. Revenge. Jim is so full of himself and so happy that he escaped this situation, and just wants to carry on and go report this to the police, and make sure this guy's caught and everything, and it goes on from there. Basically, it's a cat and mouse game. The Hitcher pursues him, or rather tends to beat him to every single location that Jim goes to. He's always there, and he's always in control of the situation. And of course, he's a psychopathic killer, so he murders people along the way, mostly off screen. There's a few murders in this movie. As a matter of fact, the kill count is kind of hard to say because most of it happens off screen. Anyway, I don't want to go through step by step the plot details of this movie, because this is a great movie, and I think you really need to see this. Got some memorable scenes, of course, that I can't ignore and can't not talk about. For instance, the Hitcher somehow gets to this diner before Jim does, and he manages to, I guess, murder the cook, because Jim's eating his burger and fries, and he picks up this one big fry, and it's a severed finger, and he freaks out, and he goes outside and throws up and whatever, and then he realizes, oh my god, the Hitcher's found me, he's after me, but the Hitcher wants him to pursue him. So he sets all these traps and everything, and in a stolen truck, he bursts out of the garage door, smashes through, almost runs Jim over, but then decides, well, I'm not going to kill you so easily. He sets the gas station on fire, which explodes and everything like that, and Jim just narrowly escapes with his life, but it's pretty crazy. It's pretty far-fetched. It's how does this Hitcher manage to travel around and make it to all these locations before Jim does? And why does he always seem to be there? And how physically powerful is this guy that he manages to kill, like I said, the kill count's impossible. There's got to be like 25 people or something like that in this movie. Other memorable scenes are like he manages to shoot down a helicopter with like a handgun while he's driving. Also murders somebody by tearing them apart from by chaining them to between the trailer and the truck and then pulling the truck away, and that's fucked up. We get to see the aftermath of after he murders everybody in the police station. Everybody except the dogs, I guess, because we see a bunch of corpses and the dogs are actually like licking up the blood and feeding on the corpses, and it's like he's a supervillain, a demon, serial killer, whatever. He's like Michael Myers that talks. The way this movie is shot, there's like a lot of suspense to it. You're never sure exactly what's going to happen. What's the Hitcher's motivation for chasing after Jim and for killing all these people, and what does he want out of the whole thing? This is well directed, very well directed. The cinematography is fantastic. Really portrays a sense of being lost and on your own, and life is in danger. And how do you get through all this crap? And what's really going on here? Like, we don't even know, but yet he just has it in for Jim because, like, Jim actually fought back, and the Hitcher sees that as a challenge, I guess. So yeah, it's like the cat and mouse game. The Hitcher is like playing with his prey, sort of thing, just messing with them. And this whole movie kind of messes with you. This is not 100% a horror movie. Like I said, it's more of a drama, more of a suspense, a thriller, I guess you could call it. But there is some horrific things that happen in this movie. It's not meant to be Halloween 6 or whatever. It's also got a lot of action stuff in there. Action in terms of like, he blows up the gas station. There's a lot of car chases. He jumps through the windshield of Jim's vehicle and makes him crash. There's a couple of car crashes. There's a bunch of shootouts. There's a whole lot of gun violence in this, or seemed like an elevated amount anyway. But this is 1986, and it takes place in like rural desert Texas, even though it's actually shot in California. But yeah, I found this to be entertaining all the way through. The acting, I think, is phenomenal in here. When I say that, I mean like for 1986, compared to other movies from that year, these seem to be more realistic characters than a lot of those other films. Certainly more so than any Schwarzenegger movie that was out at the time. This isn't an action spectacle. This is a movie that's supposed to haunt you and supposed to creep you out and I guess scare you and excite you at the same time. And I think it does all three of those. The acting is great. Rutger Hauer, I'd have to say, even though I enjoy him in almost everything I've ever seen, this was my favorite performance. Better than, say, Lady Hawk. Better than Blind Fury. Better than Blade Runner. And he was like legendary for his role in Blade Runner. He's like silent and creepy enough to be like, like disturbing and being a thought-provoking villain. But also he says more than like, say, Michael Myers or Jason, and but a whole lot less than Freddy. Oh, and C. Thomas Howell. Of course, I know C. Thomas Howell from a lot of other stuff like The Outsiders. Can't forget him as Ponyboy in there. Apparently, he had a side role in E.T. He was one of the kids playing D&D, I think, at the very beginning of E.T. Oh, and then his maybe most notorious role in a movie called Soul Man, where he played in blackface for the entire movie, and they've tried to justify this movie over the years, but I just can't get over that, and I don't think his career really got over that either. Yeah, sorry man, you were way better in The Hitcher. You should have just not put the blackface on. And Jennifer Jason Leigh, too. I mean, she's really good in this movie. She's very sympathetic to Jim. She's trying to help him out because he's obviously in distress. And he eventually kind of like forces her at gunpoint to cooperate with him. But then she's like, no, he really is a good guy and I believe his story. And, you know, or she goes along with him. Really don't want to spoil this movie for you because, like, I haven't seen it in like maybe 48 years or so. I remember it being good, and I can't believe it took me this long to go back to this movie and watch it. I think I'm going to have to give The Hitcher from 1986 an A. No minus on this one. I mean, it's not a perfect movie. There's only one or two perfect movies, and they're either Star Wars or Godzilla, but it's pretty darn close. This is entertaining from minute one right to the credits. And you couldn't ask for a better 80s movie, to be honest. There was a remake in 2007 or something, starring Sean Bean as the Hitcher. Haven't seen that, but it's got like 20% Rotten Tomatoes, so probably won't see that. And then I am aware of the fact that there's a sequel, The Hitcher 2, which came out in the mid-2000s as well, starring C. Thomas Howell, who returns in the same role and has to fight off a new Hitcher. That's only got like 19% on Rotten Tomatoes, so I don't think I'm gonna bother with that one either. Anyway, no, the original Hitcher, 1986, my favorite Rutger Hauer movie. This is a quality movie, and I really think that you should check this out. Gets an A. So until next time, don't be picking up no hitchhikers, but have a good one.